Hey kiddies, horror host Trav here. I recently watched the new movie called The Empty Man, and I wanted to give you guys kind of my initial thoughts on it. I won't go into spoilers. I might do that for the show in the coming weeks or whatever, but I don't want to spoil it right now because it seems to be having like a pretty big like resurgence. It's kind of like I saw an article. I can't remember if it was the Wrap or one of those the Verge or something like that, but they were talking about how it's the newest cult film, like because of course with 2020 being the COVID year and all this other shit, it was released in 2020, but it didn't really get a chance to make any noise or make any money or anything like that. It was kind of just get put out into the theaters, and then people weren't going to the theaters last year, so it kind of disappeared for a little bit, and then it's kind of made a pretty big resurgence the last month. But The Empty Man was actually based on a Boom Studios comic. This is the third part right here, written by Cullen Bunn. That's the second part right there. Pretty brutal shit. But it's about like essentially the comic, and I think I read this comic in 2020 as well. Yeah, we got furloughed for work and stuff, so I had a lot of time to like read comics and shit. So I like got a lot of fucking reading done this last year. So one of the series that I really dove into was The Empty Man. I was in the big, like, obviously with the pandemic and stuff, I was in a big like virus kind of, outbreak kind of. I know it's fucked up to say, but mood. Like, people were watching, Outbreak, and I can't remember the other one with like, wasn't there one with Matt Damon or something? People were watching that movie a lot, and The Stand, and I discovered Empty Man. So The Empty Man was, like I said, written by Cullen Bunn. Cullen Bunn is a huge like horror guy in comics. He's like the go-to author. Like if you have like him and Steve Niles, I think are like the two best. And Jeff Lemire, like Jeff Lemire is writing some great shit, like Gideon Falls and stuff like that. But he's kind of like Bunn and Steve Niles are kind of like the go-to like horror guys in comic books, and they come up with some cool fucking shit, man. And I'm actually really really glad to see that one of his ideas was turned into the film Empty Man. But this film starts out, you meet the main character, and I may spoil some like little minor details. So if that kind of stuff bothers you, then just go watch the movie and come back. But I'm not gonna really spoil the ending or anything like that. But you open up with a main character that used to be a police officer, and for one reason or the other, I can't remember if this was revealed right up top or whatever, but he has left, and they make like the statement or whatever that they lean towards like something's happened to his family, and you don't really know what or anything like that. Like you get like brief visions and stuff like that. It's almost like a Jacob's ladder kind of thing where you're like, and that's not spoiling anything, but it's like you don't know really what's going on a lot of the time. And like, so there's this kind of urban legend. They set up this urban legend called the Empty Man, and it's where you blow into a bottle while you're on a bridge, and the empty man is supposed to like blow back or like supposed to see you. Like one of the characters, our main character goes to this church, and one of the things that the guy says is like you look into the abyss and the abyss looks back, like that idea. So the empty man is kind of like this. They set up like an urban legend type story, to where like these kids are getting involved with this empty man, way of thinking, kind of like, it's a cult, like a sense of removing all negativity and stuff from your brain, and like all this other shit. Like there's a bunch of weird shit going on, and there's like teen suicides and stuff like that. So the beginning of the movie really really clicked and really really hooked me in, because from what I remember from the first part of the comic, it focuses a lot on like just the cult and the effect that this empty man virus is having on like the population and this police precinct. Like you follow like these two detectives, and they're investigating like these bizarre crimes and stuff like that influenced by this virus that they call the Empty Man. And in the movie, it's a little bit different because you're focused on the legend part of it, and this dude's trying to figure out, okay, what is behind all this? What is this church? So it still goes into the cult, but I gotta say, I really dug their, they're focusing on the urban legend a little bit more, because it's like, it's very like there's a scene in the movie, and this is like pretty early on, because this little girl, like these teens kind of disappear and stuff, and you're kind of wondering what's happening to them. And like I said, this little girl and a group of teens, it shows you after dark. They're on this bridge, of course, getting into some shenanigans and shit. I don't know. They're probably out there smoking joints or something. And they all blow in the bottle. And there's a scene, it's all dark. She's looking across the bridge and she blows into the bottle, woo, and something blows back from, the darkness. Like, you hear bottles, you hear somebody blowing into a bottle basically in the dark. And I just felt like that scene was incredibly effective and stuff. And this movie was, like, it put me in the mind of, like, what was that fucking movie? Kill List. So one of the things that Rose brought up, my wife, I was watching it with Rose, is she was like, this movie kind of reminds me of The Kill List. Which is a fantastic movie in its own right. By the way, check that out if you haven't seen it. But it's, it's very culty. There's, I guess there's a little bit of folk horror in there, just a tiny bit. But yeah, like my overall impressions of this movie is that it's a lot better than I thought it would be, to be honest. Like I said, I knew it was kind of a dud when it came out, but, I didn't really lots of movies, either came out to not as big as they wanted to, or just were pushed back last year, obviously, because of the pandemic. But yeah, this one really surprised me, and I really hope that they continue to make Cullen Bunn stuff. Like, I really dig a lot of his stuff. What was the one of the Unsound? Like, he did a comic called The Unsound. He does one called Regression. He did one called The Damned. This dude's like just has all kinds of cool ideas, like, in doing them in comics. The big advantage of doing these comics is you don't have to hit a budget or whatever. You can just fucking come up with whatever you want. And he is like a really good idea guy. Like, he worked at Marvel and stuff too. Like, I think he did Venom and X-Men for a little bit, but just a great writer. And if you're gonna check out some of his stuff, I would, of course, recommend The Empty Man. And I would also, maybe even before my recommendation for Empty Man, I would really recommend his book called Harrow County. It's about, it's very witchy and a kind of a slow, if you dig The Witch, then yeah, you really need to check out Harrow County. It's very in the vein of that kind of, slow burn horror, quiet horror, as they say. But yeah, as far as getting back on the Empty Man film, yeah, I just thought it was very well done. It was a good little scare, some very effective scenes, and anything with a cult or something weird going on, or this cult, Lovecraftian kind of stuff, I'm fucking in for. So those parts, really, a cult worshiping some kind of deity that's fucked up, and it's just all this creepy stuff's going on in this town, and this detective character is trying to figure stuff out. That is right up my alley, and it's a perfect kind of story for Travis. That is right up my alley. So if those kind of things, if what I'm saying, you dig that kind of stuff, you're really going to dig this movie, I think. And I really want people to go out and see this movie, go rent it on Amazon and stuff, because like I said, the writer's fantastic, and these, the people making this movie really loved the material, but I felt like they brought more to it as well. They brought some cool elements to it. Some parts didn't work for me so much, but it didn't really take away. This is a buy for me. When it comes out on Blu-ray, it's a buy. The ending fell a little flat for me because I just felt like it was kind of to be expected. Like I mean, I don't know, and I hate grading movies like that. Like giving us something that we kind of expected, because not everything is gonna be like a big fucking M. Night Shyamalan twist or whatever. No, not everything has to be that, but I felt if you're good at like calling movies and stuff, you know probably what's gonna happen like at the end. But like I said, really really good movie. Opens very effectively. Like it kind of hits you right off the bat. You open up in 1995, so it shows you kind of where they discovered this entity, and then it flashes forward to 2018, and then it shows you like how things are going basically, and then you start following the detective character and stuff, and you're trying to figure it out as he is. So you're trying to put all these clues together and stuff. So yeah, The Empty Man. I would give it probably a 3.5 out of 5. Like I really, really dug it. Probably a 3 to 3.5 out of 5. It's really worth watching. Yeah, it's one of my favorite ones that I've seen this year. I'm not gonna say it's like it's not like Color Out of Space or some of the recent ones that I've seen, but it's very solid. Like I was very like I said, I was very surprised at how good it was, and like I said, it's a buy for me. But anyway, like I said, check out this comic, The Empty Man, at your local comic shop, and check out some of Cullen Bunn's other stuff. He's a great writer. But yeah, movies recommended by me, man. I really dug it. Rose really dug it. So this is Horror Trav signing off from the HMF studios. Stay creepy, stay safe. That's all I got.